Who's ready for even more fun with Cartoon Yourself? I'm ready too. So excited for this. So we have been doing contour lines, drawing the shape, right? Outlining basically, getting all that ready. We're set. It's go time. So here we go. We're now going to start coloring all of those areas in. And we'll also notice if we didn't quite maybe get our contour lines as enclosed as we were hoping for them to be, that'll come up today potentially too. So we're going to be spending the next 2 class periods today and next class period kind of coloring in that first image that we've started. And then if you want to start thinking about too, because we've got 2 more images yet to go for the following week, right? So start thinking about what you might want those images to be, because they don't have to be self-portraits anymore. It could be a picture of your pet. It could be a picture of, a car that you thought was really cool and took a picture of. It could be your, good friend of yours. Up to you, okay? So start brainstorming and thinking about what you might want those other 2 to look like. But let's also learn about how we do our fill color, okay? So very similar to Google Drawing or Google Slides, where there's like that fill bucket, and then you choose a color and then you dump it in there and it fills up that whole enclosed space. It's going to be very similar to that. How you select the colors may be slightly different, but potato, right? Super close. So I am going to choose the fill bucket in Pixlr, and then this is going to be the color panel. So let me actually pop on out of here and go on into Photo Mechanics so you can see my absolutely stunning pictures. You guys love my clouds? I mean, like, this belongs on some kind of famous chapel in Italy, I feel like, because that is some really good artwork right here. Anyway, and once again, if this was actually my art that I was creating to like try to have it look good, I wouldn't have used the red in order to outline, but I noticed that like black and white just weren't really showing up well on screen, and I want you guys to be able to see well, so I went with kind of like the most in-your-face pow color I could find, and I went with that really vibrant vermilion. Anyone remember that from yesterday? Red, orange? Yep. Anyway, so I've got to start on some of these colors. Let's show you guys how to continue this. So let's say I want to do my forehead next, and I'm just going to finish drawing this in here, and I am going to very intentionally, that was not the best contour line I've ever seen. I probably should have zoomed in better, but I want you to see how I'm intentionally not closing the gap. I mean, we know what's going to happen, but I just want to show it to you because I feel like, sometimes when we can visualize things, it's easier to understand. Okay, so then I've got my skin-ish color. It's similar to my skin color here. If I don't like it, I can click on it, right? And then move this around. Usually for skin tones, I say somewhere in kind of this yellow to red range, just because we all have blood vessels underneath our skin. And that tends to give us like some reddish undertones because of that. Now, if you're really struggling and you're like, oh my goodness, that is not looking right, let me just fill this. We know what's going to happen to you guys, right? It's going to end up being, oops, oh, I got to hit, okay, I forgot that part. It's going to end up bleeding. I'm just going to show that to you guys. Oh no, oh my goodness, but I very easily can see, here's my problem area. So we're going to have to draw that line in, Control Z to undo, and go back to my draw tool, switch back to my vermilion, and there, close that gap. Okay, now if I switch back to that skin tone, now it'll go on in there. If I'm like, oof, that is not exactly, it's not quite right. I'm not liking how this looks. And whether it's for your skin tone, it's for the blue of the sky behind you, the fishy gray, doesn't matter. You can use this trick for anything. What you can do, let me just Control Z to undo that. Okay, do you see how how there's like a, looks like almost like a talking bubble next to this? So if I don't go right into the color thing and I'm outside of it, there's like this bubble. Now, if I put that on my skin, you know, depending where on my skin is not perfectly even, so you can see there's a little variation depending on where on my skin I'm clicking. So just kind of pick wherever you think is the most authentic, I guess, and it will automatically adjust that for you. Do you see how it did that? Watch, if I do it over here, watch on my screen, watch like right there, it switches to that color. So again, it switches, okay? So now that I've got my color picker picked, I hit OK. Now that is switched to that color that I just said I wanted, and that's going to be filling it in with the color that you had selected by kind of doing that dropper to pick it out from the screen. So this is what we're doing today. We are zooming in, we are zooming out, we are coloring it in, and remember, this is nothing that I expect you to finish in just one day. In fact, we have today and next class period in order to complete this one image, especially with it being our first one. I know it takes a little bit longer. Another thing I should mention to you guys, don't be afraid to add in contour lines after you've already colored it in. Like for example, let me zoom in a little bit more here. Oops, I'm going to change it to gray first. Okay, so now we zoom on in. In my hair, ever since having my lovely little children, I have got many, many, many gray hairs. Okay, so this is not really authentic to me with it being just plain brown. That's like 20-something-year-old me, not 30-something-year-old me. So we are going to maybe add in some gray, some little gray highlights there, right? So you can also add some contour lines to add interest after the fact too. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a possible option for you guys. So we're continuing on. I hope you guys have fun. I cannot wait to see how these turn out. I know they're going to be amazing. And we will see you next time.